And for once, welcome in CBS Sports HQ golf analyst Kyle Porter. Patrick Cantlay given a two-stroke lead entering round one, still has a two-shot lead after round one. 4 birdies, 1 bogey. Kyle, can Patty Ice play like the way he did on Thursday and still win the Tour Championship?
Well, it's going to be tough. He didn't make very many putts on Thursday after making every putt he looked at last week at the BMW Championship. So, the thing that he's got going for him, Hakeem, has always been true of him, is that he doesn't really have that many holes. He doesn't have any holes at all if you're looking at, is he a top 25, top 30 guy in all these different categories? So when he doesn't putt that well, it's not that noticeable because he does everything else so well. So he can still go out and shoot a 67, even though he doesn't make any putts pretty much the entire day and maintain that lead. Now, he's got a couple problems behind him. Jon Rahm's a problem. Bryson could be a problem. Justin Thomas could be a problem. But I do think if he goes out and hits the ball like he did on Thursday, he's not gonna not make any putts over the next 3 days. He's gonna hit something at some point. So if he continues to hit the ball like he is right now, I do think he is gonna go on and win the Tour Championship and be $15 million richer when we talk on Sunday night.
Well, we know world number one Jon Rahm doesn't care for the FedEx Cup playoffs format, but he's got a great shot to win it. 2 shots behind Cantlay going into Friday after a 565. Kyle, what did you see from Rahm in round one, and what would the Tour Championship mean for him?
Well, Rahm, he had a very similar ball striking day to Cantlay. He just made more putts. He was 8th in the field in strokes gained putting. And he's just been awesome all year. The thing that I go back to with Rahm, we were just talking about this on the First Cut podcast, is he's had too good of a year statistically to only have 1 win. It's crazy. He only has 1 win so far this season. It feels like he's got 3 or 4, but still the U.S. Open, in which he makes these 2 crazy putts at the very end, that's his only win of the season. So you hate to use this word because it's just kind of silly at times, but it does feel like he deserves another win based on how he's been playing. I compared it to a starting pitcher who statistically is lights out, and maybe just it doesn't fall his way and doesn't have as many wins at the end of a year as maybe you think that he should. So that's a little bit where I'm at with Rahm right now. It feels like he should have won more, and maybe this is one that kind of breaks his way at the very end of the season.
Yeah, we all know he should have won the Memorial, but he got robbed from that. Meantime, you could say this: Bryson DeChambeau should have won last week, but he couldn't putt to help him win. Bryson and Harris English 8 under, followed by a host of guys at 7 under and 6 under after round one. Who out of the chase pack do you think has the best chance to catch Cantlay?
Well, I think English is super interesting. English made a 1. I think you showed it there on 15, which was that hole's impossible. You can't make a 1 there, and yet he did it. Bryson actually hit it in the water there, so they were 3 strokes difference. Bryson made a 4. You'll see this English ace here again. And the thing that's interesting to me, Hakeem, about Harris English is he was first in the field from tee to green on Thursday, but he didn't putt that well. And normally you'd look at that and say, well, maybe he's not a great putter. Harris English is a really, really good putter. So you have to think that'll bounce back at some point. I think he's 18 to 1 right now to win this golf tournament. I like that number better than maybe a Bryson at 10 to 1, just because I trust English more right now. Bryson obviously has more firepower. He's more talented, I think, than Harris English, but he's been a little bit all over the place this summer. What can you trust? Can you trust that he's going to be steady throughout the rest of this week until the end? I don't know that you can totally trust that. So I kind of like English here over Bryson in terms of going out and getting a win this weekend at the Tour Championship.
Isn't it somewhat interesting that Harris English, both of his wins in 2021 coming in a playoff, the Century and then the Travelers, like that experience has to go a long way, especially in this format here in the final leg of the FedEx Cup playoffs?
Well, I think so, and he kind of alluded to mentally he's just in a different place right now in his career than he's ever been in before, and I have to think that winning the Tournament of Champions in a playoff, winning that crazy Travelers Championship over Kramer Hickok in an 8-hole playoff, I have to think that factors into, the margins mentally are so thin for these guys that they can kind of convince themselves, even if it was a 1-stroke difference, well, I'm a much better player because I won. And it kind of feels like where Harris English is at. his confidence level is so high. He thinks he's a top 5 player in the world, and he's kind of been playing like it as well. So I think, from a mental standpoint, he's in a position where he believes he can go out and run down Jon Rahm and run down Patrick Cantlay and take a win here as momentum into what will be his first Ryder Cup appearance here in about 3 weeks.
Well, he trails Cantlay by 5 shots after round 1. Now, after round 1, who's your pick to win the Tour Championship?
Well, I'm going to stick with Jon Rahm. I picked him before the week started. Again, statistically, he's just been existing at a level that it feels statistically improbable that he hasn't won more than one golf tournament yet. And I love the way he hit the ball on Thursday. He putted it great. I don't think he's going to putt it that well the rest of the week. But if he does, he's going to catch Cantlay, and he's going to win this thing going away. So I'm going to stick with him. The number is not very good. It was plus 350 coming into the week. I think it's like plus 175 now after round 1. But I'm going to ride Rahm as I've done throughout the playoffs.
That would be a fitting end. The guy that doesn't like the FedEx Cup playoff format goes on to win the Tour Championship at East Lake in Atlanta. You and I breaking it down on Sunday. That would be classic if that comes to fruition. Kyle Porter breaking down round 1 here on CBS Sports HQ. Kyle, thank you. And for more awesome golf content, join Rick Gehman and his crew on the First Cut podcast, a cavalcade of stars, including Kyle Porter. You'll get tournament previews, including DFS picks and analysis. You'll also get round-by-round reaction to each PGA Tour event. The First Cut podcast, download and subscribe today.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.